Hey there, comic book fans. I'm Travis.
And I'm Ethan.
And this is
Monster Comic Reviews.
That's right. This is for the first week of March.
And first we have Animal Man number 7. What'd you think?
I'm really liking the comic. This was had some interesting stuff in it. The art's a bit schizophrenic because it's a little bit Travel Foreman, a little bit the new guy. They don't quite mesh together as the new guy's trying to mimic Travel Foreman's artwork, it looks like, to some degree. But I'll be okay with that part once it gets squared away with one person. There's some interesting story in here. I still like the family dynamics. The whole the mother-in-law, of course, keeps saying, I told you that, marrying Buddy was going to be a big mistake because, it's a problem and whatnot.
Yeah.
The little bit of future potential dream we get is pretty cool. Where
do you think that's John Constantine?
I think it is. Doesn't it make sense?
Yeah.
He's one of the magic-y kind of people, so he'd be there. Yeah, that was kind of interesting. Buddy, this is the future. See what happens when you don't protect your daughter.
It was cool seeing Maxine do something besides go,
hey, look, Daddy, it's dead things that are talking to me. Yeah, that was kind of cool. The little bit with I've drawn a blank on the son's name. The little bit in there where with the girls, the girls like, that's easy. They have that cool.
He's like, my dad's Animal Man.
You can get that Animal Man T-shirt now.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's actually for sale.
Awesome.
That Evolve or Die T-shirt.
Nice.
That's pretty cool T-shirt. At any rate, they're like, and he's like, that's my dad. And I'm like, yeah, right, it is. What are you, all of 12? And then of course Buddy comes up and goes, hey, Justice League just called and swoops him off.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I'm enjoying this comic. Like I said, I still think that between it and Swamp Thing, that we'll talk about later on, this is the more personal level kind of a thing. And of course, the Rod is chasing after them now, this big wave of things. I love the beginning with the guy watching the news and like, there's, animals are attacking their owners all over the place. He's like, opens the door, what the hell? And gets eaten up himself. That was kind of fun. What did you think of the book?
Oh, I liked it. I thought it was awesome. I can't wait for us to get a solid artist. That'll be cool. Yeah. And I still think it's awesome how that both Animal Man and Swamp Thing both deal with the Rot and how they contrast with each other because, like we've stated before, Swamp Thing's the huge deal,
epic, right.
And then Animal Man's the personal. This is the saving grace.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's cool that they still managed to uphold that.
Right.
Yeah. That it was awesome. Yeah. I liked it.
It's gonna be it continues to be a fun book. Yeah, definitely. I would give it very strong 3 out of 5.
I'm gonna give it a 4.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Okay. Next, we're gonna talk about Batgirl number 7. What'd you think of this one?
I liked it. It was, there's been better comics for me, and I'm still on the Stephanie Brown high, so I don't know. I guess this comic's okay for me. I like the art at least, and I like how Barbara's mom reintroduced herself to Gordon, and how they're bringing back their son again because their son's a creep.
Well, he was in the old stuff, that's for sure.
So if he's still like he was, which I'm going to assume he is.
Right, because it's still Scott Snyder writing it. Right.
Yep. So.
Yeah, I actually, I've been really down on this comic pretty much from the beginning. I don't like the fact that Barbara Gordon seems kind of weak.
Yeah.
But I really like this issue. I like this issue because basically in it, Black Canary slaps the crap out of her, knocks some sense in her, and says, "How dare you, basically, be a whiny little whatever over the fact that I feel sorry for myself because I couldn't walk and now I suddenly can walk and all that BS." And she's finally going, you know what? Get over yourself.
Yeah.
And it feels like she finally goes, you know what? You're right. I got to get over myself and move on. And I was all excited by that. And then the last page kind of potentially sets it up for making it all go backwards again.
Yeah.
With the whole, he's a henchman that used to work for the Joker and now he's working for the grotesque guy.
Yeah.
It's like, what a coincidence. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that doesn't mean the whole thing has gone backwards. But
I like Grotesque. He's pretty
yeah, Grotesque is a cool new villain. But like I said, I'm really happy with the fact that somebody basically called her out on our current her current mindset, because I was really getting tired of it. So it's basically, the book has given me faith back in Gail's writing that she's gonna move it forward. I don't know if she recognizes being that way, or this was always her intent for it to be that way, or what. I mean, I know that I'm one of the few people that sees Batgirl as being less than what she could be, and I don't feel like she's moving forward. A lot of people are like, "Oh, this is her progressing forward." It just hasn't felt that way to me personally. Like I said, everybody else I know that reads it besides us seems to think that that's the case, but I haven't gotten it. But in
weirdos. We don't like Hal Jordan, so
yeah. But in this one, it felt like that they're gonna make that transition.
Yeah.
So I was excited by that.
Mm-hmm.
What do you give this book?
I'd give it a solid 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, I give it a 3 also. Okay, what's next?
Next we have Batwing issue 7. What'd you think?
Right, this is where they end up going to Gotham.
Oh my gosh, this comic.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I know, it's pretty cool. The only thing that I think is a bummer about this whole story arc is the fact is we haven't really gotten to see that much of the kingdom, except for them getting killed.
Yeah.
That's kind of a bummer. It was like, here's this supposedly potentially really cool super group in Africa.
African American. That's pretty cool.
No, not American. They're African.
Not African Americans.
Yeah.
They're all African though.
And they're pretty much all
they're all dead now, except for the one who doesn't have powers. And as we see in the end of this comic, not his suit anymore either.
Yeah. But it's pretty cool though.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It's pretty exciting. The next issue should be crazy as all get out with the big power suit and machete
power
there.
Suit and
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was pretty fun. We'll be transitioning into a new artist soon, I think. I'm looking forward to that because Marcus too, the guy who was doing the Huntress, so that'll be great. And I'll be curious to see what the next arc comes. I mean, because I figure the next issue is going to be the end of the arc where it's a big, shoot up blowout kind of a thing. But
yeah, pretty cool.
Another pretty standard book as far as I'm concerned.
I give it a 3 out of 5. Strong 3.
Yep, I give it a 3. Okay, next up we're going to talk about one of the Marvel titles we pick up, and it's Defenders number 4.
I thought this comic was boring.
Did you?
Yep. I mean, we got a little more character, and that's always nice because that's mostly what I complain about is people have a lack of character when I complain about stuff. But it was nice that we got a little more character. All the same, though, it was just kind of boring for me. Although, I did like how they dealt with the punky mage, because I don't know what his name is, who was flying around and wanted to use the wish machine. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah. So it was boring because nothing went splat, or there was no fights?
No, it just felt drawn out and boring.
Okay.
It felt like it could have gone faster and should have gone faster. It's just they didn't want to write it faster. So, I don't know. It was boring to me, though.
Well, see, I like the issue. I like the issue because it gave us a lot more insight into Doctor Strange, as opposed to him just being Doctor Strange, who obviously likes women and occasionally says really creepy things to She-Hulk. You get to see that the guy actually does have a little more personality than just talking really grand and whatnot. I mean, obviously he's got issues with women in general, it seems like, because he has a girlfriend all the time, or for the night or whatever, kind of a thing. The fact that he accidentally wishes an old girlfriend that's already lived her entire life and died back into existence, I thought was interesting. I think it's interesting where she comes to the realization that
she's been wished back?
Right. And that's what the actual machine does. It's just basically a giant wishing machine. That'll be curious to see if that becomes part of the subject of the book going forward. I thought it was interesting, basically, that she's now off out into the world living yet a second life, knowing full well that she has children out there that she gave birth to as an older version of herself. So that whole part of the story was kind of interesting and whatnot. As far as being potentially what some people would call a filler issue, actually I thought it was an interesting issue. Different artist on it, which worked for the book that it was, because it was kind of an introspective kind of a book. I'm actually more on board after having read this issue than I was prior to it. I was kind of, I don't know if I'm going to keep getting this or not. I like this one, so I'm looking forward to seeing what the team as a whole does next. I'm looking forward to the Dotsons getting back on, on the Dotson team get back on it as far as art goes. No, I think this was a yeah, this was actually kind of an enjoyable book. So I give it a 3 out of 5.
Yeah, I give it a 2.
Yeah, because it was boring.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. What's the last one?
Batman Detective Comics #7.
Yeah, I don't know. There's parts of the book that I thought that the dialogue in it was not good.
Nope.
The way the lines were delivered and whatnot felt very stiff, unnatural, and kind of campy.
Yep.
Didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Art-wise, it's okay. The story still felt kind of thrown around and thrown together and whatnot. I just wasn't 100% happy with it. So I don't know. And we're out here in our backyard talking, and the reason me and Ethan are smirking right now is we've suddenly got a very friendly neighborhood cat that's come up to chat with us. At any rate, yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a lot to say about this.
Yeah.
About the book.
It was just kind of there.
I mean, there's potential. There's potential in the idea of it. There's a double cross and like a triple cross. And maybe even a quadruple cross
some crossing there.
Yeah, as far as who's messing with who and who's who's actually collecting the money. Who's going to collect the money and whatnot. I like some of the ideas leading into the end of this thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm kind of bummed that the execution isn't better. I do a podcast with Eric from Longbox Review, and we talked a little bit about Detective Comics, and that I liked it. That I like the ideas, but that there needs to be a better execution. I almost wish that Tony Daniels would be another person who would go back to who would get somebody to help him write. I think he's got good ideas. I think there's probably other people who could actually write it better than him. He could concentrate more on his artwork and tighten up the artwork to like it was when he was working with Grant Morrison, as opposed to the more looser version that he does in this. But yeah, I wasn't really impressed with this book.
Nope, I wasn't either.
I would say, well, you got anything to say about it?
Not much.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So it's a 2.
Yeah, I give it a 2.
I mean, it wasn't a really bad 2. It wasn't oh my gosh, this is awful 2.
No,
but
it wasn't.
But there's nothing really about it that maybe other than it's Batman.
Yeah.
So there's the first half of the first week of March, and hopefully we'll be back in just a few minutes with the second half. Okay.